Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to another session of the Mindfulness at Lunch. My name is Eric. I'm the mindfulness psychologist here at Brown Center, and I'm really happy to be here this afternoon to be with all of you in this session as we meditate and practice mindfulness together. So today, I would like to speak a little bit more about how mindfulness can help to improve our sleep quality. Right, so let's just take this moment to allow ourselves to sit comfortably. Let's start off with a short mindful movement exercise. So let's begin by taking this time to just invite the eyes to close very gently. Just coming into this state of awareness. So sensing into this body, just the way it is right now in this moment. Allowing yourself to just acknowledge that you've taken this time of the day to pause, a midday break for yourself. Just dropping this awareness right down into both the feet. Sensing into the feet being supported by the ground. And now as we take in the next in-breath, I'd like us to just beginning to very gently just tilt the chin all the way down. So still with your eyes closed, just sensing into how this body feels right now, perhaps at the neck region. And gently just coming back to center. As you do so, you may begin to just choose to open your eyes and beginning to allow yourself to tilt the head towards the back. And the thing about practicing mindfulness is just that awareness that we're cultivating in this moment. And this awareness includes noticing how the back of the neck feels right now. Noticing if there's any particular sensations that you're aware of. As right now, you're beginning to just allow yourself to come back to center and dropping the right ear to the right shoulder. Just holding this stretch for a couple of moments. If you like to, you can use the right hand to gently press down on the head, stretching out the left hand towards the side and just sensing into this part of the stretch. And gradually letting go, and now changing to the other side, dropping the left ear to the left shoulder, using the left hand to gently press down on the head as you stretch out the right hand. Simply attending to this moment as it is. Noticing where this attention is as well. If you're able to just stay with what's here. And as you breathe out, releasing the hands, letting the head come back to center, and just allowing yourself to rotate the head 3 rounds in a clockwise direction. Simply staying with this moment just the way it is. This sense of turning towards this body of ours, and you may change the direction of the rotation. And gradually just coming back to center. And from here, taking this moment to allow your shoulders to bring it all the way to the top or the side of your ears. So breathing in, just rolling the shoulders all the way to the front, towards the top. Bring all the way to the back and down. So one round, so doing it 2 more times. And doing it as slowly, as gently as you can. And just really just feeling all that is here. And just choosing to change that direction of that rotation as well. So drawing the shoulders towards the back, bring it to the top of the ears, all the way to the front and down. All right, good. And so from here, I'd like us to just bring our right hand in front of us and just bring this right hand towards the left. And just using the left hand to just press this right arm closer towards the chest. So we begin to feel the stretch over at the shoulders at the right arm region. And just staying with whatever that is here, letting the stretch be felt. And gradually, on the out breath, releasing and changing sides. And in this way, we are just allowing ourselves to feel into this upper body just the way it is. Listening to what these body sensations are. And just taking our time to take care of them kindly. So releasing, coming back to center, and this time round, stretching out your right hand all the way towards the ceiling. And this time round, I'd like us to just bring this right hand towards the back and using the left hand to press the right elbow down slightly so we feel the stretch in the upper right arm. And just doing whatever that feels right for you, not needing to overstretch in any way. But doing this as an act of love, as an act of kindness. And releasing and changing sides, so stretching out the left hand up towards the ceiling. Bring this left hand towards the back, using the right hand to press the left elbow gently towards the body. Feeling that stretch as best as you can. And on the out breath, gradually just releasing both the arms and now allowing yourself to bring the arms or hands to at about this shoulder height. So kind of keeping it parallel with the ground and just beginning to rotate at the wrist. Noticing if there's any tightness or tension that could be held at the wrist region. Perhaps from typing or using your mobile devices. And this is just the moment for us to let go of this tension, if there is. And from here, just beginning to rotate at your shoulders. So just rotating the whole arms, just kind of drawing small circles as you extend from small circles to bigger circles. So as we do this, you might maybe just move back a little so you won't hit onto the table if you're sitting at a table. Right, so just bring wide and drawing big circles. And as we do this, you might feel the stretch in the front of the chest, perhaps even at the shoulder blades region. And from here, changing that direction. So from big circles, and gradually just small circles. And gradually just coming to a pause and letting the hands come back to rest. And right now, I'd like us to just begin to just take this moment to close the eyes if that feels right for you. And just settling into the body and just this moment of awareness as we uh, allow ourselves to transition into a period of a sitting practice. And let's just begin by intentionally allowing ourselves to take in that 3 beautiful deep breaths. And at the end of the third breath, just expanding this awareness to the whole of the body. Just receiving the sensations as they are already present right now for us. You might just notice certain sensations that might include perhaps the heartbeat might have increased as a result of that stretch. Perhaps feeling to the warmth of the body as well, how the blood has been circulating throughout the upper body in the earlier movements and stretching. Just gradually beginning to locate the sensations of this breath in the body. Discovering with great curiosity for yourself, where can you feel this breath the most right now? Realizing that we have a choice to begin to notice that in breath, where that's felt, and following through all the way till it becomes an out breath, and where that's felt as well. And this is how we begin to cultivate awareness of the present moment. We do it one moment at a time. And right in this moment, perhaps this attention may not always stay with this object of our attention right now, which is the breath. And if you do discover that, that's beautiful. That's just great because you're aware not exactly where this attention is in the moment. And that's how we begin to exercise the muscle of awareness, moment to moment, again and again. So sensing to the full availability of this breath. All the way in and all the way out. And so from here, I'd like to just move into a period of gratitude practice, following what I led everyone in the practice last Wednesday with the gratitude body scan. So this time around, it's going to be slightly different. This is going to be a 10-finger gratitude practice. And so right now, see if your eyes closed, see if you're able to allow yourself to use your right hand to hold on to your left thumb. And as you feel in the presence of the left thumb with your right hand, I'd like you to just bring to mind a part of the body that you are thankful for. And just expressing this gratitude towards this part of the body. So this could be the heart, could be the lungs, whatever that is for you. And now, holding on to the index finger of the left hand, bring to mind yet another body part that you can be grateful towards for doing what it does 24/7, 7 times a week, 365 days essentially. It's just expressing this gratitude to this other body part that we have. And now as you hold on to the middle finger of the left hand, I'd like to just bring to mind a family member that you're grateful towards. Just saying thank you to this person in your mind for what he or she in your family has done for you. So be it helping you to order food for your lunch or your dinner, preparing the meals, even keeping the house clean so that, when we're at home, we are in a clean environment. And now, as you hold on to the fourth finger of the left hand, bring to mind another family member that you are grateful towards. Has that gratitude that this family member is well, is safe, is healthy. And now the out breath, letting go of that. And you may now just go on to the last finger of the left hand and bring to mind a friend that you are grateful for. That's this friend who has reached out to you in this 1 or 2 years of this pandemic situation that we've been facing right now. Just having someone to speak to and stay in contact with. Just bring this person to mind. Just silence your mind saying thank you. And now just using your left hand to hold on to your right thumb and choosing to bring to mind another friend that you are grateful. This could be someone that as you have made contact with and this person has responded. Whoever that might be. And just saying thank you to this person. And now as we hold on to the index finger of the right hand, may wish to bring to mind a colleague or a co-worker if that's applicable to you. Otherwise, you can just think of another person you are grateful towards. As a colleague who has helped you recently, or supported you in some ways by just reminding you to take your lunch or reminding you to take a break. And now as you go on to the third finger of the right hand, bring to mind yet another co-worker or colleague. If that applies to you, expressing this gratitude to this person. As well, what this person has done or said has supported you or encouraged you in one way or the other. Just say thank you. And now as you hold on to the second last finger Just bring to mind one thing that you're thankful for in this recent 1 week. Could be an event, it could be an activity that you engage in. And just being thankful that it went well, perhaps. And lastly, as you hold on to the last finger of the right hand, just bring to mind one thing that you're grateful for today, right in this moment, as you're doing this practice. And so just beginning to just place this right hand on your chest over the heart and using the left hand to press across the right hand and just feel into the presence, the warmth of both the hands for all these 10 things that you identified that you're grateful. It's feeling into how you are right now. There's so many things that we can choose to turn towards that went well, that supported us, be it events or people or even ourselves. Just feeling to all this that are present for you. Feeling to the whole body, breathing breath by breath. Now the out breath, gradually letting your hands come back to rest. That's on your lap. Just taking this moment to check in with how you feel right now. The whole body, the mind. And just resting with 3 more beautiful breaths. And when you feel ready, choosing to wiggle your toes or move your fingers slightly as you invite your eyes to open. As you greet yourself with a nice, beautiful smile. Good. So how's this practice for all of you who have tuned in for this period of the Mindfulness at Lunch session? So just taking a moment to reflect and just identify for yourself, how is it in this practice for you? And just taking this time to share your reflections on the chat or on Facebook Live, you can put a comment right there. So I'll know, whether this practice has been helpful, whether it has been beneficial for you, as we take a midday pause. Yeah. So keep your comments and reflections coming because this is really going to be really useful for everyone, right? To just know that, we are not alone in this. Yeah. Good. Yeah. So a couple of you mentioned that you all feel good. Yeah. Beautiful way to just tune in, not just with the body, but also with the mind as well, isn't it? Yeah. So you're welcome. So this 10 finger gratitude practice that I guided for all of you today is one that's very useful and one that I practice regularly. And in fact, the last thing, that, as I held on to my right hand, the last finger, one thing that I feel grateful for today is that I'm well. So in fact, just yesterday I was ill. I was down with bad bout of diarrhea and a fever that spiked at about 38.9 degrees. And I was just noticing how uncomfortable my body felt. And I listened to the body and allowed myself to rest, to let the mind rest as well, doing the body scan practice. And this morning when I woke up, I felt well again. And that's something that I'm really, really thankful for. To really not take my health for granted, right? And to always be vigilant, right? To attending to what this body is telling us from moment to moment. Yeah. So I hope this practice has been helpful, right? So I mentioned at the start of this session that today I'd like to share with everyone a little in this remaining 5 minutes that we have today about how mindfulness can help with our sleep quality. So I'd just like to share a research finding. So this was a study that Brahm Center and NUS, so back then was NUS Medical School. We collaborated on understanding the impact of mindfulness, right? At least a 4-session mindfulness foundation course on sleep quality. And one of the interesting results that we find is that even as short as 4 sessions, it is enough to actually reduce the pre-sleep cognitive arousal. So what that means is that many times, if you find that you may notice yourself having find certain challenges in sleeping, so falling asleep or maintaining your sleep, or perhaps you're finding yourself waking up earlier than you intended to. This could be a result, perhaps, that the mind might be active, right? So this especially applicable to when we find ourselves lying on bed and it is not like, within 5 minutes or 10 minutes, we can just ease into sleep, right? So we might lie on the bed itself and maybe toss and turn for quite a while, right, before sleep sets in. So mindfulness has been shown to actually reduce that pre-sleep cognitive arousal. And this pre-sleep cognitive arousal is often very much present, when we find ourselves not able to sleep. We may notice that the mind is thinking of many things. Yeah, perhaps, we might be bringing work to bed. Yeah, so we might be thinking about, all the deadlines, all the stuff that we are yet to complete, even as we are lying in bed. Or perhaps, certain issues that we may be facing in our personal life that has yet to be resolved. And these are things that, continue to stay on our mind. And so in mindfulness practice, very much of what you have went through in the past month or so in this mindfulness at lunch session, these practices are all designed to help us to just cultivate that awareness, right? That moment-to-moment awareness of the body, the emotions, and even the state of the mind. And so gradually, we might begin to find that the mind will begin to settle, right? It will be less cognitively aroused. And when the mind is more at rest, more settled, it really creates the conditions that facilitate sleep. And this is something that I'll be really, really happy to guide everyone through in this upcoming 8 weeks mindfulness-based therapy for insomnia course that I'll be starting next Friday, in fact. So on the 18th of June, from 3 to 5:30 at our newest center at Tampines, right? So if you've been experiencing insomnia, right, or facing, sleep challenges, I would really strongly encourage you to sign up for this course. And this course, I'll be covering certain strategies to help us to understand our habits of sleep, or perhaps, some of our behavior that perhaps gets in the way of our sleep patterns. Yeah. All right. So I'll just take this few minutes, whatever I have right here, to just comment on some of the questions that you have posted on the Q&A. So the first one is, when is the last mindfulness at lunch session? I believe that will be this Friday, right? So we intended to stop this once the phase 2 heightened measures ease off, and we kind of hopefully begin to regain some form of normalcy again. Yeah, so if there's any changes, we'll update everyone on our Facebook page. All right. The next question is, 7 to 8 hours of sleep is recommended, but does it really mean we have to sleep by 11? Because liver repairs from 11 to 1 a.m. For that, in terms of the liver repairs, but I'm not an expert in that area. But what I do know is that what's more important is actually the quality of sleep, more so than the quantity of sleep, right? So in fact, in the course itself, in the mindfulness-based therapy for insomnia course, one of the first steps is that if you've been experiencing fragmented sleep, so what that means is perhaps, you perhaps you find yourself, having challenges falling asleep, maybe 1 hour after you lie in bed, then you fall asleep. And then you find that, you wake up at about 2:30 a.m. and it takes you an hour to get back to sleep, right? And maybe this happens another time at 4 a.m. So this is what we call fragmented sleep, and it's not really healthy, right, in terms of our sleep quality. So I'll be sharing with you some strategies how we can begin to move towards what we call in sleep research, which is known as sleep consolidation. Yeah. So sleep quality, I would say, is a lot more important than sleep quantity, right? So in terms of the absolute numbers of hours of sleep that we get. So we'll focus on that first, then we look to expand the number of hours that we can sleep. All right. Good. So another question is, at night you notice you feel relaxed, but you still can't sleep. You just let it be till about 2 to 3 a.m. and then you go to sleep. Yeah, I mean, that's in fact, that's good, right? So what I would suggest here is that, when you can't sleep, it's actually better that you don't stay in bed, right? One of the many things that I've heard, right, in these few years of teaching mindfulness is that many people actually begin to associate the bed as a place of fear, right? So especially if you experience insomnia, it's understandably that it is very common that we might begin to associate the bed as a place of fear, right? Because each time you lie on bed, maybe, you may notice that sleep will not happen anytime soon. And therefore begin to feel anxious about going to sleep. Yeah. So it is actually helpful to not lie on your bed until you know for sure that, sleepiness is something that you are feeling at that moment. And that's where you actually go to bed, right? So if that's 2 o'clock for you, so be it, right? And I'll be happy to explore this with you further when you do sign up for the course. Yeah. The next question is there a meditation for physical pain? Well, in fact, actually, many of the mindfulness practice does help with physical pain as well. What's important is the attitude that we bring towards. So be it emotional or physical pain, one of the very helpful attitude that we can bring towards the practice is that of acceptance. So if I could just speak from experience yesterday, when I was noticing my body moving to a spike of, 8.9 degrees in terms of the body temperature, I was noticing physical pain literally in my head, right? I could feel my head throbbing, right? I could also notice my heart rate went up quite a fair bit. And it's almost as if my whole body was under that stress of kind of fighting off the bug, right? And I knew that I needed rest. Yeah, so meditation or mindfulness practice, when we do it, it really helps us to kind of let go of the thinking that often keeps us really busy, and instead offers that possibility to accept and stay with whatever that's here, even if it's physical pain, even if it's emotional pain. Yeah, and that's something that we can begin to cultivate the acceptance, even that sense of letting go, and exercise that muscle day to day, and we get better at it. The next question, how often are you mindful in one day? Well, I would like to think as much as possible, right? And definitely there'll be moments that I might find myself not being mindful. And it is essentially in those moments that I realize that I'm not mindful, that I step back in the present moment of awareness again. And that's the beauty about mindfulness practice, is that we can always begin again, right? And that we can be compassionate to ourselves, right? Not being judging for those towards ourselves, especially when we perhaps find ourselves losing it. Yeah. When's the next course on insomnia after this one? So at the moment, I don't have a definite date, but I'm hoping perhaps in the last quarter of this year. Yeah. Good. Well, there are many questions. I'm not sure I have time to respond to all of it. But I'll try my best. I know someone who will sleep for almost 24 hours every day without discipline. Oh, interesting. Okay, I have not known anyone who can sleep 24 hours in a day. So the question is, sorry, I'm not too sure how to answer that particular question, so I'll just move on to the next one. What are some practical advice, to promote exercise or thoughts to promote a more restful sleep? Yeah, so gratitude practice is really helpful. Yeah, especially we can consider doing it before sleep. You can also consider doing body scan practices before your sleep. And this helps to ease the mind to settle. And when the mind is more settled, it really, as I mentioned, makes it more conducive for sleep to happen. Yeah. Last one, as you get older, you realize you need to go toilet in between sleep, thus disrupting your sleep. Okay, what should you do? I think the first step is to acknowledge and accept that this is what you're experiencing at the moment, right? It's related to a medical. If you find that perhaps, it could be a medical condition, perhaps, just checking with the doctor, if that's part of what it is. Otherwise, that sense of acceptance that, okay, maybe it is just what it is for you, right? That you may need to wake up a few times at the night to go to the toilet. So the important thing is not to feel so stressed up, whenever you find yourself getting not being able to get back to sleep immediately after you wake up to go to the toilet. Yeah, so oftentimes it's the thoughts that we have or even the expectations that we have that we need to get back to sleep immediately, after we awaken in the middle of the night, right? So just assessing if the expectation is realistic or not. Yeah, and even applying the attitude acceptance, as I mentioned, that could be really helpful as well. Okay, good. So I hope I've answered most of the questions. Yeah, so that's all I have for y'all today. And I think for this whole entire series of the Mindfulness at Lunch session, I hope it has been helpful for everyone who has tuned in during this period. So whether you're tuning in Singapore, or from other countries, I take this time to wish everyone to be well, stay safe, and if you find that, these are helpful for you, you can just continue to check out our YouTube page for the videos. If not, I'll be really happy to see you in person, either in person or online in the courses that I conduct. Yeah, so in fact, just like I do a shout out for the mindfulness-based stress reduction course that will be starting online. Yeah, so if you are tuning in from abroad, this is a good opportunity for you to sign up for an online course. So this is the 8 weeks MBSR course starting next Wednesday from 6:30 to 9 o'clock. And for sleep, the MBTI, that will be next Friday from 6:30 to from 3 to 5:30. Okay, good. So thank you once again. And may all of you be well and happy. You all take care. Bye.